Alright, I'm just waiting for this to actually come up. Looks like I'm live. Let me just make sure I'm actually on Twitch. And it looks like I'm live. Sweet. So let's go ahead and get started. So, welcome back. This is the third part of making a track with SynthMaster. Today's what I'm going to be doing is adding some effects throughout the track, some transitions, and this is one of those really big things that'll really help your production stand out and sound professional. And you actually hear this in a lot of productions that don't sound professional. A lot of times they're missing this extra ear candy to signal to the listener when there's going to be a change in energy. We'll also be organizing the track. We've kind of done a little bit of that here, but I want to actually structure it completely, and then when we go back, we'll actually end up shortening it to get it within the time. But before I do any of that, I actually want to come back here and fix some of the mid basses, because to me, I wasn't really liking the way they were sounding. One of the issues I did, and I don't usually do this, is I mix it around the drop section, and I actually want to be mixing it around when the sub comes in, because it just doesn't sound quite right to me. So let's take a listen to what we have so far. So right off the bat, I think this guy is an octave too high, so I'm going to just lower it an octave. I don't know what's going on there. Something not good. It's under this bus. It's this guy. Is it Vice? That's just... Oh, it's missing this sample. So, well, that wasn't even the sample I was using, so that's really weird. Discard. Is that the same with this? Okay, good. So that's coming down. I don't know why it was doing that. I should be able to... Huh. I don't even remember what loop I used here. That's really bizarre. Oh, and now live just crashed. Damn it. Oh, man. So, give me a second. I'll open live up again. We will try to figure out what's going on with this. That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, let's recover my saved preferences. I think what happened was, under my documents here, I had new Sonic Arts and under exported audio. But this shouldn't have done anything, whatever was here, but I can put it back. I think it was like 125. Bias, no. Well, let's see what's going on. Once this decides to load the project, if it decides to load the project. Not the most terribly exciting. Okay, here we go. Now, if it wants to try to shit on my hopes and dreams again, we'll be ready for it. I don't know why Live just did that. That was not supposed to happen. Okay, so it says it's missing this sample, but that's not even the sample I was using. So I'm going to discard that, and we're going to just find... I don't even remember what sample I used, which is too bad. Oh, let me go over here. And let me just pretend I use this guy. Really bizarre, actually, why it did that, but whatever. A couple things I wanted to do. So somehow this found the loop I was using, and then this one... Maybe that'll actually sound cool. Let's hear that in context with the kick and the bass. I'm not really super hopeful about this, but... Who knows? So I'm going to solo this, and I'm going to solo this. Oh, didn't even put it in there, so we'll hear it here. No, it actually doesn't sound too bad, so I'm going to keep it that way. And another thing I'm going to do, this auto filter that I put on, I actually want to bring in some of the drive, because it's sweeping around, but it's not... It's affecting the sound a lot because it's sweeping this like pulse around, or this peak around. Let's go ahead and mix it back in. I'm actually not happy with the MIDI here and why whenever it got messed up, so I'm just going to delete it. And we're going to do exactly what we did last time, which is just exporting the MIDI. Just like before. And the one thing I do think this needs is an LFO tool, and I think I might have had one on the group. No, I didn't actually. Well, I'm going to be adding an LFO tool on this loop that I just changed, and hopefully it doesn't lose a sample to this guy. Just kind of make it a little bit more driving. So this is the bass an octave higher, and this is an octave lower. I actually think an octave lower is going to be better, at least for this part. So let me just go ahead and drag that in. And by doing this bass I don't think is going to be the main one that I'm going to be wanting to stand out. I kind of done it that way before. I actually think going for a side trancier sound like the second one is going to be the one that I want to be more prominent. So let's take a listen. So let's see how we can make this better. First of all is what I'm going to do. So I want to map the pitch, and I might have already done this, to, oh, I did this. So the pitch is going to be mod envelope 2. What the heck was that? I can't have been the only person who, oh, weird. That's what I wanted to loop. I'm actually gonna, I think Command J is consolidate. We're gonna do it that way because I don't know why this was messing up. That should fix it. I do want to loop it. I don't know why it thinks it's trying to start it an octave higher, but there we go. So that's a little bit snappier. I might add a little bit like a high shelf here. Oh, you piece of shit. I don't know why it's doing that. That's really fucking annoying. This is the dude here. So let me mix this first one in with the kick and bass, and then I'll mix the other guys in too, and stuff. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I'll just set this to 4 voices. It should be in mono. I could try it in poly, but it really shouldn't be doing that. I have some note that's getting pressed on my keyboard or something. It can be the first time something like that. Let's bring in this guy. Maybe I will bring this up an octave. I can't make up my mind. So this guy should be an octave. Really pissing me off. Let me just cut this, paste it back. really driving me crazy. So anyway. Well, this one's pissing me off, so I'm going to actually do this the old-fashioned way, which is just coming in here, grabbing these notes, and just basically penciling it in just like we would just normal. And the one thing I will do, I will shorten this to a single bar just that way. You can do it like this. Fuck you. And with this we can easily adjust the length of all these notes. Cool. So that sounded good. We can work on this section later, but yeah. So let's mix in this with the kick and bass, actually. And this might be an octave too high too. I think that actually sounds better. So for this, I'm gonna grab this guy, but what I want to make sure is that the MIDI that I'm playing, so this 2 bars, is just this. And maybe this sound should have a little bit more attack. Now let's add in this next mid bass. It's sounding better. Not a huge fan of that sound. We'll come back to that later. This one I think is okay. Maybe make it a little bit more plucky. Make sure it's adding. Now this sound is actually adding a little bit of body, and I do like that. Shithead. Okay. Yeah, this is mostly a square wave sounding beat. Okay, that's sounding pretty good. Now what I want to do is pencil this in over at the main drop section and just make sure that it sounds good in that context. So what I'm going to do this is go over here and take this, bring it up an octave. Oops. Whole thing. Oops, not you, but oops. Okay. All of you up an octave. I'm just bringing it up so I can easily adjust where these notes are, and then from here it's just a matter of and then this is actually twice as long, so what I'm going to do here is consolidate this, so Command J. Basically what that's going to do, it's just going to render the whole thing, clips length, and this will allow me to come in here and make sure that's on. Bring that an octave lower. And I think these are fine. We'll see. Oh, I had them an octave down anyway. Let's see if that sounds good here. Let me just solo the basses for now. Versus good, so now let's listen to it here with the percussion, because that sounded a lot better to me. Don't have any percussion. The other thing I wanted to make sure this ride actually, sorry, I'm just jumping all over the place. this ambient on here because I like the way that sounded. And maybe I'd keep this right until the for the second half. We'll see. The reason I'm not hearing any of this is because this was off. My stupid ass. So let me go over here. It might be that this symbol's just not long enough, could be the entire issue. Oh, the other issue could actually be this. I think just the sample might not be long enough, but we can come back to that later. And then cool. Okay, so now that we've kind of sorted all that out, and I think the bass is sounding pretty good, I want to go ahead and add some effects. I'm going to start with the crash cymbal, which we will use SynthMaster for, and then we'll also use SynthMaster for the effects. So I'm going to insert a new, I guess it'll be a new MIDI track. I'm just going to call this Crash 1. Give this a nice color, and we need SynthMaster on here, so SynthMaster 2, drag this in, and as before, I'm going to use this sort of this Boolean drum kit. So samples, multi-samples. Here it is, and let's just find. I have to edit the preset first. Cool, so I'm actually just going to stretch this out to 4 bars. And right now, while I'm here, I'm going to duplicate this track, and the only reason is I like the sound of this reverse crash on the G there, but we'll put that later. So let's take a listen and let's mix this in. I'm going to stretch this out for, well, maybe for 8 bars. I don't know. I don't think it'll trigger if I'm like halfway through. That would be kind of annoying. It does, but only annoying in the sense that it's not the behavior that I'm used to. Actually, we can really fix this. The way we'll fix this, drag this down here, go over here to our sample, and just make this, first I'm going to make this monophonic, because there's no reason this should be playing more than one at a time. And all we're just going to do is just turn this release way up. So we'll probably have a crash every 8 bars or so, but I might not use the same one. In fact, I usually don't. And one thing I can tell already is I would like there to be a little bit more reverb on this crash. This kit I think works really well for trance and electro, specifically progressive trance. But for uplifting trance like what we're doing here, it generally helps to have a lot of reverb on the crash. So I'm going to use Arts Acoustic, great reverb. So if you listen to that, that's with it, and this is without it. Sounds a little metallic, so I might. Good, that sounds good. For this guy, maybe I'll just place it here, and I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this over, because this has the release settings that I want. Does that work? Because I soloed that, that's why. So that means I can just shorten this as short as I want it, and that'll play when I want it to. Nice. And I'm just going to stretch this, oops, this is an 8-bar pattern. Now usually I find that when I'm doing this, I like using different crash sounds, and I can still use different ones because there are different ones. So for some I could have this, for this one I can use, this one's not so good. So maybe for this one I can try out I actually think that'll work better over here. And it might be the case that we have two. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to call this Crash FX long, and this is going to be Crash FX short. I'm going to fold the piano roll, and we're probably going to do that. And I'm just going to duplicate this over here, just so we have this. And with the reverse crashes, I don't think you need to always have a bunch of them. But I'm just going to call this reverse crash, and we'll find where this fits. So if we start here, so I actually think this needs to start a little bit earlier. Let's try it there. Maybe somewhere in between. And the other thing I'm noticing right off the bat is, to me, there's too many mids, or too much. I guess too much. It's weird. I mean, I guess it's technically frequencies continuous value. Even in a computer where you have discrete valued samples. So let's go over to the audio effects. I'm going to grab an EQ8, and I'm just going to scoop out all these mids, because we only need the high part of the crash anyway. Let's make sure this one sounds good. Hey, make this even longer. It actually doesn't matter because I'm probably going to layer this with some white noise anyway, so. So let's listen to what it sounds like with this reverse crash and whether or not we need to put any reverb on here, which we probably won't. I think it sounds great the way it is. Sorry from the beginning. So this is where my sort of, I don't know, experience is telling me I need to just put this on a different channel so we can do, this is going to be short crash and this one is the long crash, this is a short crash, and I'm going to do different processing on these because I can tell right already this long crash I don't think needs all that reverb. But what it may need is a compressor. And what this guy I think needs is a delay, just to kind of bounce it around. We'll see if this one needs it too at the beginning. Yeah, I could use it as well. I'm just going to copy this over to this channel. Do I want it after the compressor? Probably not. Oh, come on, what are you doing? Copy you, paste it, and yeah, so if you look at this delay here, by default, I like using a dotted eighth note delay, which is set at that shouldn't matter what order these. So actually, I don't think I'm going to use this one. All that work, right? I like this one, but what I am going to do is I'm going to create different effects, because I like layering crashes with sweeps, because the sweeps kind of give you the high end, and the crashes just give you the sort of mid-ish sounds. So yeah, I'll experiment with layering those. So just kind of put that around here. And this will already, I think this is doing a good job of sort of letting the listener know what's going on. Could make that longer, but for now, I'm not going to mess around with it. And I am going to group these... What the fuck? Sorry, I am going to group these guys, and this is going to be crashes and sweeps. All of the same channel, just so once I mix them together, they're all being bussed to the same place. Cool. So now, what I'm going to do, insert a MIDI track, and I'm going to call up SynthMaster 1. I like using the VST version. And of course, we're going to get our friend the utility, just so we can do mod wheel stuff. Cool. So now I'm going to initialize the preset. We're actually just going to use waveforms. Just going to use white noise. I may actually end up. God, am I just this dumb that I can't find it? Ha. I know everyone's probably like watching the video yelling at me where this is. I promise in the future I will make these more interactive, where I'll have the comments actually working and all that stuff. Ha. Let's see. Analog, don't care. Well, there's a lot of waveforms. Man, I know this has it. And noise. I'm getting noise here. That's really annoying. Maybe there's a wave table that has a bunch of different noise. Because the reason is I think it'd be kind of cool to have... what am I trying to say? It'd be cool to be able to use any of the algorithms that we are able to use for the wavetable oscillators. And if not, I know that SynthMaster 2 has it, so maybe I will pull that up. This isn't really anything super special that I'm doing here. You're gonna see this is like the easiest thing in the world, just creating a white noise sweep. But what you need for it is white noise, which I can't seem to find. Look at this noise. So cool. That's gonna be fine for now. I'm actually want to move this in the group. There we go, perfect. Let's call this noise sweep. And we'll make it sort of greenish. And I can give this 2 voices, and I do want to detune them. Nope, sorry, spread them. A little bit. Cool. Okay, that's sounding good already. The other nice thing about using SynthMaster is we now have this control of these macros. So the really important thing, and maybe I'll just use a bandpass filter. Gotta turn it on. You know, that's already sounding probably as close as I'm going to get it. I am going to assign the mod wheel to control the filter cutoff, so maybe not that much. Kind of want it coming in. So this slope is kind of how steep the slope is. So I think you can kind of alternate between like a 24 dB per octave to pretty much flat, which is pretty neat. You don't really get to do that anywhere. What are these? Oh, shelving filters. Okay. Cool, that's about all that it is. Let me see about this distortion. If I want to actually use it, which I probably won't, but, oops, distortion, where is it? Here it is. I don't know, just really trying to do something different that I probably don't actually have to do. And I might actually add some other stuff later. But let's go ahead and pencil this in. It doesn't really matter because I'm not using the key track or anything. But I will use C. And the way that I do this is I stretch this out for a bar, and then however long I need it, I just loop it for that long. Oh, come on. Maybe 2 bars? And of course we're missing some very important things, like of course the LFO tool plugins. Oh, it's one word. I don't know why I keep adding a space. Some reverb, of course. I think that'll really help it. Try 0. Maybe some delay. I'm not super tied to the idea, kind of like what we did before. Just for some stereo width, I could easily have used the ping pong delay within SynthMaster. Probably should have done that, but and last but not least, of course, EQ8. Don't want any of these lows. So if you notice what I'm doing here, I'm not actually, these notes aren't really connected. Each one's playing for 2 bars, and I could very easily just shorten this to each note playing 1 bar. It doesn't really matter. But now I can stretch this out as long as I need to. And because of the reverb and because of the way it's working, they're not really overlapping. You don't really hear it. It doesn't matter. And then the important thing is going over here into automation mode and getting the P utility and the mod wheel. So we can just make this sweep. So this is a sweep down. Actually, you know what I'm going to do before I do any of this? I want to set the lowest part of my... That's going to be the lowest part, and the maximum is going to be up there. That way, when I actually sweep this, this is the whole range that I actually care about. So basically, I'm just setting the limits for what the mod wheel is doing. Just going to use a low shelf. I don't think we need it that low. Maybe not even that much LFO tool. And this is something I can automate as well. this. Could always do the same thing, except maybe make this one just a little bit shorter, perhaps. Effect. This minimum is also still a little bit too much, too low. So that's too high too. Let me start from the beginning. Just a matter of getting this right. You know, once you make this preset and you've tweaked it all out, it's just a matter of recalling it in all your tracks. And that's not being lazy or anything. That's just kind of being smart. You know what I think I will do, actually? I'm going to do the same thing, except what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use one for down sweeps and one for up sweeps. And the reason for this is, for these up sweeps, I can just bring the filter down a little bit and not have it go quite as high. I don't think it needs to go quite as high for that. So we'll just do yeah, same thing. Same shit. Okay, so one will be for down sweeps, one will be for up sweeps. We can do different processing on them if we want to. Not a big deal. So this, you can kind of hear it, need to get this stuff right as well. First of all, that's not right. And once again, we have complete control over how long these risers are, obviously by adjusting anything we want to. I'm getting rid of these nodes because I don't want it kind of jumping in. Oh, I'm a dumbass. So all this automation is complete garbage. Because this is the one I'm trying to automate. I think that'll be high enough. Let's take a listen. Sorry, this is probably pretty boring, but it needs to happen. Now something really quickly, what I want to show you guys, this is pretty neat too. This is how you get those sort of Nicky Romero sounding risers. But it kind of involves what's called resampling. So I'm going to create this channel, and all I'm going to do is just record this. Let me just record like a 16-bar section of just plain old noise. We don't need this, or this, or this, or this. And we don't need any filters. But what we do need is a phaser. In fact, a flanger would be better. Flanger. Do we have a flanger on here? We don't, but you know what? That's okay. I'm going to turn all of this stuff off. Distortion and the phaser. Flanger. And basically you're just trying to get a very constant tone. So you could automate this delay time, but what I find that works pretty well is if we, so if you listen to this noise, let's just go ahead and freeze it. Now let's go ahead and flatten it, which will render it down to an audio file basically. Cool, now we have this frozen. Cool, so then what all we gotta do here is take this transpose and automate the pitch basically. Pretty easy. So there's gotta be a better way to do this. Show all parameters, let's see, none. So probably the best thing to do is to get a simpler, put it down here. Now take this and just drag it in here. It's fine if it's the whole thing. Cool. Now we don't need this anymore. And what we will do with the simpler, and let me just do this maybe the last 16 bars. Let's take our favorite C3. Cool. I'm just going to call this noise riser. And all we're going to do here is just adjust the pitch over time. Which I believe we can do this as, where is it? One voice. Thank you very much. Control series. In fact, what's probably even better thing to do is if we go here to the clip properties and we go to the clip automation, we can just go to MIDI pitch bend. Here it is. And we'll just start way down here and we will go up. That might be too much. Would be better. Automation and new lane. Would be better if I can go minus 24. That might be a little bit too drastic, but let's do that. Plus 24, and let's get rid of whatever. Delete, clear, and all. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear all envelopes. I know I keep changing my mind, whatever I want to do. I want to do this on here. So if I do this guy, and yeah, transpose, here we go. Let me just take this down to -12. And let's just go all the way up to +12. Of course, we'll probably want our LFO tool and maybe some reverb. And the nice thing about having MIDI is, let's say I don't want it to come in the last bar. I'm actually editing the MIDI notes themselves. That is not a problem. And another thing we can do, I can take this LFO tool depth, start it down here, if it's actually, come back here, and bring it up as well. And I'm actually going to group all these into a rack. My reason for doing so is I want this rack. One of the things I like doing, and this is just kind of OCD me, is making sure that this gain doesn't go above 0 dB. Just so when I'm mixing, I'm not really worried about the levels. I can just mix to the loudest point. So now this knob, if I automate this knob, this is going to be flange rise vol. That's going to be the maximum volume that I have. And now if I just show automation in new lane, I can just take this, goodbye, goodbye. And this can be my maximum, and I can just start from a little bit lower. I'm really trying to be edgy. I can just make this like its own little device rack thing with only one knob that goes up to 0 dB, and just call this volume auto. That way I can just go in here. Here's volume auto. Show automation in new lane along with the mod wheel. So it started up here and just kind of bring it down. Start it up here, bring it down. Start it up here, bring it down. Just another way to add sort of more interesting stuff. I'm going to do the same thing with this upsweep, except we're going to do it backwards. Did this just copy my my automation there? It did. That's pretty cool. So yeah. So now I want this to be backwards. So this is really sweep down, the sweep up, the noise riser. Cool. So I think the next thing we're ready to do is probably add in an actual synthesizer too. Let me group this with these guys because this is technically a riser as well. And I'm actually going to duplicate this track, and you'll see what I'm doing here. This is just going to be synth riser. Give this a nice color too. And instead of this, we are going to use SynthMaster. Let me just clear. And I do want to clear this automation. Clear envelope, cool. The reason I wanted to keep this, actually, yeah, let me just clear all envelopes. But what I'm trying to do is keep the pitch envelope here that we penciled in, which we pitched in with the transpose. Damn it. Is that really as low as I can possibly go? Well, I guess we'll find out. But we'll see. So that's going to be what this riser is doing. And then let's go back here. But instead of a noise riser, this is going to be a synth riser. And I'm going to give this a nice bright green color. And instead of this, we are going to give it a synth. Oops, if I spell it right, helps finding it. Here. Cool, and with this, you could really use any lead sound, and I'm kind of tempted to just go and show you guys this, but I'm trying to make as many of these sounds myself as I can. I know I get more points doing that, but really it's just also kind of the pride of being able to say, did this. So let's just take a super saw. Actually. Let's give this a square wave. Let's pitch this up. Pitch range up and down. So let's make this 12 and 12. And issue number 2 is we're not in key, and I forgot what the key is. So let's go over here and check the sub bass. We're in G sharp. So this actually does matter. Let's put EQ 8, which is something I did not put on this noise riser. Let me just do it. I may not need it, but come on, bitch. Why isn't it like this? Okay, whatever. So there are a couple things we can do. We of course can automate the volume, we can do all that stuff. But one of the cool things we can do too is we can do things like, if we put reverb on it, using the pitch amount to automate the mix. So that means as it increases in volume, the pitch will go up. Pretty cool. If I do filter 1 as a high-pass filter, I can do the same thing with this pitch wheel, is automate the cutoff. Not that much. It'd be great if we could use the pitch bend as a bipolar, but you know what, that's okay. It'll just mean for the first half it's going to just do whatever it's doing. Maybe we'll even do it like a low pass. Add modulation, MIDI pitch bend. So what the issue here is this is wow, that's crazy. So I see what's going on here. Source is pitch bend. If I do and then of course we can do other things. For instance, we can set this to like a square wave, modulating the pitch, or let's say it's modulating the filter cutoff. So LFO1. Did I actually do that? Dumbass. If I didn't sync it, what if I mapped the speed to the pitch bend? So take a listen to this. Pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Let's hear what it sounds like in context. I just spent like, 20 minutes on that riser, but... This high-pass filter might actually be too much. So now is when we really get to have some fun just kind of arranging the whole track. What I want to start off with actually is if I take this filter situation, and what I should have done, let me go ahead and copy these here. I'm going to group them into a rack, and then all I'm going to do is just map this to macro 1, macro 2, macro 3, and macro 4. And if you guys remember from the last videos, I like having these minimums at 15%. And that's just because I find that that is when you get the flattest response of the filter. So, what this is this is the kick filter rack. This is the low pass cutoff. This is the low pass resonance. This is the high pass cutoff. And this is going to be the high pass resonance. Cool. So if we go back to our project here with the kick, we can start, and I like doing this, start the kick high pass a little bit, maybe about 100 or even sometimes 150 hertz, and then dropping it in for a little bit, then kind of bringing it out, and then slamming it back in. So if we hear from the beginning. And actually, I want to do the same thing with the mid bass. I don't want to spend too much time just listening to doing this each freaking time, because that's going to be really tedious. What the frick? Did I already make one of these damn things? God damn it. I already made a rack for this, and I just didn't put it on the damn kick. Unless I did, now I feel really stupid. Okay, well, anyway, I did the same thing for the mid bass, except I could have just copied this, but whatever. And with this, it's really interesting. If I open this up, you will see me use both the low pass and high pass cutoff frequencies, especially when things are coming in. So let's just start it like this, come down here, and then maybe these last, I don't know, 5 bars, come back up, slam it back in. Let me actually just add a new automation lane for each of these. That way we can see it all going on at the same time. So I'm going to start it a little bit. Quite nicely. Consolidate U and U. So if we listen to this intro part, I may actually do something with the kick kind of towards the end. Before I do that, I'm going to do the same exact thing with the percussion. I'm going to start this off lower, bring it in, and then maybe the last 6 bars, bring it down, but with the percussion I find that this resonance And then this is when we're probably going to split it up a little bit more, actually. It's got to be like a quick divide tool or something like that, but In FL Studio, you could do Alt-U, and then it would do something pretty much exactly what I'm asking this to do. I don't know why. Well, I'm going to repurpose this. Originally, I had used this to sort of center the kick a little bit. But that was for an old kick sample that we were using that we're not using anymore. So I'm going to repurpose this as a volume automation tool. Cool. So we can I could just do the velocities, but I don't know, you kind of get a little bit more flexibility doing it this way, so. And I can tell already this is when I want my, what's the word I'm looking for? It's when I want my hi-hats to start, or closed hats to start coming in. Fold this up for now. So I think, yeah, we kind of filter it. There we go. Just kind of really, the resonance is really, it accentuates kind of where the filter peak cutoff is, and that's exactly what I kind of wanted to do to really kind of give that transition some oomph when the sub comes in, because it's kind of like a mini drop there. Oops. Always going back, always changing things. Still feeling like this cutoff is too high. That's the word I'm looking for. Sometimes I just don't complete my sentences, and it is what it is. So, okay, let's take a listen then. Turn automation off while we're kind of grouping this all together. That's too big. That's what she said. Okay. Like an easy way to do this. Let's go ahead and bring the claps in at this point. Why does that sound so weak? I don't have the third clap, that's why. I'm just gonna split this here. It really does not matter where you decide to do this. Oh, bastard. Shit. It's all because I missed that last time. I have to bring these loops in at some point too. easy things you can do is just completely ignore everything I'm saying and just cut these guys and then just disable them when you want them off. That way you can kind of still structure your track the way you're used to having it, but maybe I'll do that. And hopefully we'll have some, you know, ripping acid line going on there. Maybe this will get the claps coming in there. Maybe the open hats. And here's what I'm trying to do is just add another kick fill, just keeping things interesting. You know, you really don't want to have, you know, trance can get so repetitive, and that's part of the beauty of it, but you also don't want it to get boring. So that's where, you know, these little fills, these little flourishes come in and really give it that professional sound. Asshole. Okay. That was stupid. Okay. Let's just do that and that. Once again, live snap is pissing me off. Can't be the only person that gets pissed off by live snap. I don't know why it doesn't just, when I want it to snap to the grid, snap to the grid. Or just let me turn off their auto smart, and by, you know, smart, I'm using that term very literally. Just turn it off. Yeah, just let me turn that damn thing off. And once again, show the lane. Here's the high pass cut off. I'm just gonna, it's a little trick. Fuck you. Maybe I'll just lower the volume a little bit. And just drag this. And we'll go back and you know, really make the details. I shouldn't be doing too much of this right now because we don't really have the whole tracks laid out or anything, but I don't know. I was just kind of, as I'm hearing things, it's coming to me. Let's go ahead and insert silence. Switch that over. Actually, there's no reason for me not to have consolidated these guys. This little riff, I kind of like it. I was just kind of noodling around with it, but I think that'll work great maybe on the 8 bar. In this case, if I don't have that, I don't need it. I may decrease the volume just ever so slightly. Not quite as slight as I was looking for. Talking like, you know, like 2 dB or 1 dB. That could be something I could even do with the damn velocities, doesn't really matter. I am going to take all this percussion. Can I do that? Without that white noise, you really I feel like you really notice the lack of that white noise there whenever you have it. When you're used to hearing it layered with the crash. You know, it's just kind of almost like part of the damn sound. I mean, really. Shit. Let me just grab you. And these are good places you can cut the bass. Let's go ahead and do it live. Pitch. Be a good length until we get to the breakdown. I might just put a breakdown marker here, even though I don't know that's how long it's going to be. what I may do here is add in a noise riser, this same noise riser, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to shorten it to 8 bars. And I'm going to just place it here. Right here you are. And now, if you remember before, this guy, the transpose, was here. So maybe I'll make this, this might be too much, too quick, but let's take a listen. Did I also do volume automation? I did. You know, I can't always hear the effects of compressors, but for some reason, this VSC2 on this bass bus, I can really hear it. I can really hear what it's doing to the sound. And I don't know if it's partially the coloration, partially the actual dynamics. It sounds pretty good. Maybe it's just snake oil, who knows? So say I wanted just this long in the breakdown. I'm just kind of starting to sort of sketch where things would be, and then that would all come in. And what if I just took this big old section here, copy it here. You know, I may end up caving, and I kind of hate myself for this, but I may end up caving and adding in a piano, because this track really feels like it could use a piano. I really want to keep everything to just SynthMaster. Maybe I can find like a sound font of a piano and cheat, or even better, make a sound font out of some other piano that I like, and then import it into SynthMaster. I guess if I sample it myself, it should be allowed, because you know, when we make this, when we make the track, we're going to release all these presets. And I'll also try to release this project file too. I mean, if I win, if people care, I'll release this Ableton Live set, and you can load it up. If you don't have the plugins, I mean, that sucks. Go buy them or something. But I mean, you can probably get the same result with the stock stuff. Like, it'll sound at least decent enough, you know, like, maybe you don't have Replica, but you can use Ableton's filter delay to get pretty damn close to this sound. In fact, maybe even a different sound with a different character. Some of the ones like Arts Acoustic, that may be tricky, although maybe Live's built-in reverb, or the reverb in your DAW is going to be just as good for doing these long trancey sounds as, you know, whatever. I am going to snag these guys for this section, and that's going to be the sort of the drop out, and then this is going to be the outro. So, where are you? Maybe this whole mid-bass buzz. I put damn volume thing on here. I did, but I didn't map it to 0. Really, I'm just gonna lower this guy down a little bit. Fuck. You know, while I'm here, all these tracks have the P utility. Start a new lane. Start a new lane. Start a new lane. When we actually get to this breakdown and stuff, we'll play around with this a little bit more. I will make need one anyway. Yeah, I will still use that, but that's not easy. You know, it's amazing to me. Until you really add these effects and these crashes, and this is just a basic pass at them. To me, you can't really hear the track. I mean, once you do it, then it's like, oh, okay, like, here's the signal and that. And it's really, that's how important they are. They're so important. I don't think I decreased the fucking cutoff enough here. I also didn't do it on the fucking loop bus, so that means I'm an idiot. Let me go ahead and find. I think it was on this track. I had my own little ratchet macro here. Here it is. Let's copy this onto this loops bus. I do like usually in my tracks I will have these on both the percussion bus, the loops bus, on like all the buses, in addition to the percussion and loops bus, which means if I want to control them separately I can, or if I want to do them all together I can. I do the same if I group my leads and plugs separately and then I have them also sent to like a main channel. That way if I have the plugs playing something different than the leads in the breakdown, if I want to do something a little bit different I can do that. So for the loops, it's going to be the same thing. Whoops. You hit ass. Okay, up, down, down, Show automation new lane. What are you doing? Delete automation. Thank you very much. Come on. Probably shouldn't have deleted that because it's probably going to be exactly what I was trying to do. Huh. Go figure, right? Okay. Move this out a little bit. And then the hats come in. So 2 more things I want to do right now. First of all, I want to make a snare roll. We'll see if I want to use 2 snares, but for now, I think I just want to use 1. I'm going to grab this SynthMaster channel. I'm going to put it here. Except with this one, I am going to use I'm not going to use the whole thing, is what I'm trying to say. And I also want this to be velocity tracked. How do I get it to do this? I think there's just a really easy, crappy way to do this. Source, MIDI, velocity. Come on, is it volume? I should really know this. I'm really, oh, here it is. Why aren't you working? Huh. You know what, it probably doesn't even freaking matter. Because I'm probably going to be just automating it with the gain plugin like you saw me do this before. Which is actually a better quality because then rather than each note getting its own velocity, like the velocity is kind of consistent across each note too, so probably a better way to do it, but yeah. So, and I'm also doing mod wheel to the high pass filter, so just as it comes in more. Cool. EQ 8. It's an audio effect. Just to EQ this I think I'm using this one. And you know what? I could use an MSEG instead. Basically, I'm trying. Let's see if that sounds any good. We probably have it leaving up here. Damn it. Is this the one? Must be this one, I think. Now, how did I mess this up? Somehow I messed this up. That's hilarious. Oh, that's so cool. Anyway, ignore that, because I'm not trying to do anything with that, even though that's really freaking cool. Let me just initialize the preset. Let's do this again. Yeah, and I'm not even going to mess around with the volume, because I know I'm going to be doing that anyway. So, oh, but the thing I do want to do, before I even mess with that too much, is I do want to make a high pass, just do virtual analog. Source, molecule, of course. There we go. Just change the gate, which just basically means shortening these. Come on, you little hose. Cool. So let's use that. And this utility is really important. I'm actually just gonna, I guess I can just group them all. It doesn't really matter. As before, there's gonna be volume automation here with, if I map this, max is gonna be 0. Map. Cool. So here we go. And this high pass filter, let's see. Cool, so now we got our snare roll. That's pretty good. I'm going to actually group this in a new group, and this is going to be called fills and rolls. And now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to find a drum fill that'll work really well with this track. I am going to use Vice for this, which is like a drum sampler, just because right now SynthMaster doesn't allow slicing. It's not really what it's for. Maybe it'll be added in like SynthMaster 3. How cool would that be? But for now, we're just going to be using this this drum sampler called Vice. But before I do that, there's actually I want to find a specific. There's a specific drum sample I have in mind. I'm going to try it out with this track, but I'm not sure if it's actually going to work. I think it was in this. I have these like all these '90s sample CDs. Some of these are hilarious. But there's, I think it was maybe Jungle Frenzy 1. Here. That one. I don't know why, I just kind of want to try it out. So this is like from a sample CD. So this track is just like multiple, like a bunch of stuff. So let me grab just that sample. I'll see why I'm doing this in a second. And I'm just going to consolidate it. So just going to render it to its own little dude. And now if I insert a MIDI track, which is going to be the actual fill 1. It'll probably only be 1. I don't know why I need more than 1. A lot of times I do use more than 1. But for now, I'm not trying to take a super long time doing it, although I may end up, I'm taking a long time doing it, but not near as long as if I'm just making a normal track. Come on. So, cheat, I'm going to show this in Finder, and then that's where it was consolidated from. Take this old ass sample. Fuck. Come up. Can I not have them both up? Well, that sucks. Let me just show it in the browser now. Drag it in here. Let me see. Maybe. It'll work. Okay. It needs to find the tempo. Which means I don't actually know what the tempo of this sample CD is, but we can find it very easily. Jungle Frenzy Volume 1. Hopefully it'll tell me. Does it not want to tell me the tempo? Gosh dang it. I can easily do it. Come on, there's got to be like a track list. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. It'll tell me. Is it 160? I think this was like track. Oh man, what track was this? 24? Probably 160. I'm just gonna type that in. Whatever. BPM. 160. Do I have to really just do that? Hopefully this is the BPM of the sample and not this, but so the issue here, and who knows, maybe what I should have done, because I like the sample the way it is. Let's go back. Bring this guy in and let's warp it. So warp. Peak segment BPM is at 160. And this is Complex Pro, but let's try Beats. It's a little bit slower. Screw it, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna work it manually. And maybe I'll just snag this hit here. Sounds pretty good. I like it. That last hit, I might do some of that bit. I think it does need some reverb. I might just use the stock reverb. I don't think I need to use. Come on. I don't think I need to use like Arts Acoustic or anything. Let me save this project. Something you should always do, and something I haven't been doing a great job of. I'll tell you what, Live crashes on me a lot more than FL does, or did. Does I still use FL all the time. And I think another thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to add an audio track. And this is more of an effect than it is a fill, but I might just group it with the fills because I'm using it kind of more as a fill. So even though the sound is kind of an effect sound, I'm using it in the place of a fill. And it's just these enormous, enormous claps. yeah, something like this. So. Already pretty much has sidechain on it. I think it's already 130 beats per minute. Don't need to really do anything with it. And sometimes what you can do too, you can add another one. This. Sounds good to me. The last thing I want to do, and usually I'll use this, and then you'll hear this in the breakdown all the time. But I actually kind of have noticed personally, and this is like personal preference, that I like having these places where you don't have a kick. It's kind of like a reverb kick. And since I didn't make the main kick for this track in SynthMaster, let me go ahead and add this, I guess, it's gonna be like an auxiliary effect. But let me just make this in SynthMaster. I can use SynthMaster 1 for it. Maybe I'd use SynthMaster 2 if I really wanted a lot more control over the transients, but I don't really matters right now. So we're gonna just pick a sine wave and bring the octave down. So that's gonna be like our bass note. And really the main thing to do here is to just bring the pitch of this with mod envelopes. Let me just use mod envelope 1. And I'm going to just say octave. Nope, just kidding. Here's 1. The source is going to be, oh, I can just drag this, can't I? Refilter. So you can use the space to get a little bit more click. So I'm basically synthesizing a kick drum. Maybe a little bit of distortion. to mono. Sometimes it's clicking and sometimes it isn't, and I'm not sure why. That sounds best to me. And we gotta eat the And so yeah, basically that's a kick drum. Not super top-endy kick drum, but what really matters is putting a bunch of reverb on it, and I might use this and I might use something else. Let me just use Art's acoustic reverb just because the reason I want to use this is it has this built-in low-cut filter for the reverb, which is really helpful. I'm decreasing the room size because I don't want it to be super stereo, especially. So that'll work, I think, pretty well for some of these. And I was playing just because it's mapped, it's key tracked. It doesn't really matter what note you play. You just want to find a good tone. With kick drums, it sometimes helps to tune them, but I don't usually do it. I just find one that works with basically, once I know the key of the track, if you guys remember, I made the sub first. Then it's just a matter of finding a kick that works with your sub. It's going to be a hall kick or just reverb kick, basically. And this might be one of those cases where it does actually help to freeze it and sort of flatten it, just so that way we can see, you see this is how long it is, and here's the tail, which we don't want. So the only issue here, and I'm going to step this back a little bit, I think the reverb is actually too loud, unfortunately. I'm thinking about doing, if I could sidechain it, then I can kind of give it a little bit of space, but... That's perfect. That's exactly where I want it. So if you hear it kind of building up, you can put another one here, who knows. Who knows? And you know what can help, well, maybe you don't know, is just taking this clap, cutting it, and putting it at the beginning. Who knows? Maybe it'll also sound good. I think leading up to the drop, I'm going to implement something similar, except is what I will do. Make this twice as long. There's that hall kick again. And this is when we should be fading out the melody. So this guy doesn't have a filter. And now my MIDI keyboard isn't working. Could be lazy and doesn't have to filter too, which I'm kind of tempted to do. Find out why my MIDI keyboard isn't working. And by that I mean I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on again and see if that causes it to work. Oh, come on. Come on. Said nothing but problems today. I don't know what the deal is. What the heck? You're just not receiving MIDI in? What the hell? I don't want to screw up the sound too much, but maybe, you motherfucker, so basically what I'm doing, if I just automated the cutoff with the mod wheel, what would happen is the mod envelope that I have controlling this plug, and this is the cool thing about SynthMaster, you can see this, would be kind of plucking it down. So if you want the filter to actually close completely, you need to automate another filter, or what I did is I'm automating the amount of mod envelope 1 as as it opens. So if you notice here, when it's low, this actually isn't doing anything, and as I open it, the filter is going to open, and the amount that mod envelope 1 is actually changing the cutoff of filter 1 according to this ADSR envelope is mapping. Which means now we need a PU utility. Put it in there. I might give it a new channels just so I can do this. I'm actually going to bring everything down to 0. So snare roll, 8-bar version. And I'm just going to take this last bar and double the length. It's going to sound pretty frenetic, but I think it'll work pretty well here. I'll take that 8-bar noise riser too. Where are you? I don't know why my computer sometimes does that. And this is where I'm actually going to turn the whole filter down. That's another good place for this fill. I don't know if I'll keep all this other crap, or like the hall cake or anything like that, but maybe you just have it. I kind of already had this pattern in with the kick. Maybe not. Maybe not. Shit. Call this Full Fill 2. Maybe here's a good place for that hall kick again. Where is it? Oh, the automation. And you know, with this, I may actually move this guy back a bar, just so it comes in. Half a bar. This last note. That's better. There we go. And this will be a good time to add in the byte symbol. Where are you? And what I'm kind of leaving space for is just some different, interesting stuff we can do with the bass lines. Just so they're not always just playing the same damn note. This just be kind of cool, you know? Well, too bad. For some reason, my MIDI keyboard isn't working. But I'm probably going to call it a day at that. Made a lot of great progress, and maybe I'll be back probably tomorrow, and we'll keep going away. Maybe we'll start arranging the breakdown and really get the outro done. And from there, then we'll add some acids and atmospheres, and then, I mean, that's pretty much it. Some counter melodies and stuff, but the breakdown is the big thing that needs work right now. But I think hopefully you can hear, as I can hear it, just starting to come together. It sounds a lot better now, a lot more full, and yeah, we'll do that. I'm deleting the send because I don't need that reverb send, at least not right now. If I always need it, I can add it back. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.